welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's a Wednesday. This video will go up in the new year, I think. Yeah, just before Christmas. This one goes in the new year. So obviously this was filmed for stuff I watched for December. So you will see while there are some Christmas movies and stuff in it. So it's not as of a big pile as you've seen from me. So we have this. As you've seen from the last video, currently we managed to get through Stranger Things a week or so before the next episodes were coming out on the 26th, which that's already come out and all done, and hopefully that's all good. Maybe I might do a video for Stranger Things. Watched, say, some Christmas movies, some Christmas series and everything else. So we've got quite a few to go through. So as always, I will go in reverse order. So we will start off with the first one. So there is a Netflix series that has released its final third series, Alice in Borderlands. Great series. Really loved season 1 and season 2. Season 3 definitely took you on a different perspective. So anybody who doesn't know, essentially people in the world are doing their mundane things, and then due to no fault of necessarily their own, they will be walking into underpass or something. They come out in what is Borderlands. Borderlands is this essentially virtual world where everybody kind of has I think it's a phone in the first series. It's been a hell of a long time since I watched it. Essentially, you have to go to certain events. When you go to certain events, when they happen, in there are these games that basically, if you win them, you win a card. And basically, the aim of the first series is to get the cards from Ace to 10. Obviously, if you fail the test, you actually die. So you die in quite grim ways. And it is the Ariso and his two mates get stuck into it. And it's his journey, essentially, there. And then meeting everyone else. Really great. Season 2 then took you to Jack, Queen and King. And then the third series took it in a different way. So if you calculated all the cards and got them all together, you were given an option to stay in Borderlands or leave. Season 3 has the main characters mainly leaving. There you find out there is a Joker character. Essentially, it comes into who orchestrates an event to bring several of these characters back in. And then you kind of have... So everyone left Borderlands. They don't remember it. They kind of live their lives for a period and then get dragged back into it. Arisu and his then wife, all leading to kind of a final event of this Joker trying to keep Arisu in his kind of virtual world. And then you realize there's kind of a subtle undertone of what Borderlands is and what it represents and stuff like this. And it was done really well. Really enjoyed it. It's a series I definitely recommend. Obviously, if it's on Netflix, if you have Netflix, do watch it. It's dubbed, which I think the dubbing's fine. You can watch it subtitled if you want, but I prefer that. So that was the first one. So then we get into the series. So obviously, it's a recent upgrade that I got was Rogue One. So I decided to watch this. It's been a while since I'd seen this movie, and I actually, again, thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, the movie is so poignant. I really feel that they didn't need to do the Andor series, and how the character of Andor has had 2 series after it. I think there are more interesting characters, but it was a really good, it was a really good taking a small event from, getting the plans to the Death Star that was in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, or it was in Empire Strikes Back. To have this all placed together was done really well. And the story is compelling, even though the fact everyone dies. Apology, it's been out a while, you should know. So next up, we have the third and final series of Batwoman. So this is very interesting. Obviously, this series was cancelled. It was cancelled. It kind of leaves it on a little bit of a cliffhanger that essentially this new Batwoman now finds her own. She finds her mum, and the end of season 2 was Hush essentially going in, robbing all of the items from Batman's vault and basically laying waste. And then season 3 is essentially reenacting characters. So we have a new kind of Killer Croc, we have a new Mad Hatter, we have a resurrected Poison Ivy with an old Poison Ivy. And it was all right. It felt like it struggled a little bit, that they were relying on stuff. I like the fact of bringing the items out. With the new Killer Croc, I really wish they kind of had brought new versions of the bad guys. So instead of a new Killer Croc, there was like, he'd come under a different name. He'd look a bit different or something like this. You'd keep it. There was like Freeze items there. I really wish it there'd been like a new Freeze character that you'd then do it. Same with like a new Poison Ivy and all this stuff. And hope like you'd done this, and involved the whole scenery to bring these newer characters in rather than just having them based off Batman and stuff like this. But it wasn't too bad. Obviously, having the explosions at the end and then kind of the mutant skeleton character was interesting enough. But obviously, it was cancelled then, and the character was reused in the later series of The Flash as well. I'm glad to have finished it. Again, it's the CW series. It's only the Legends now and Lois and Clark, which I know AJ is keen for me to watch. So I will keep an eye on that in the new year once I get my backlog of series down, because I do have so much. So next up I have this is City Slickers, but this is what AJ gifted to me, and it actually has one inside, so it's actually both of them, which is really interesting. So I enjoyed these movies. I feel I enjoyed one more than two. So I started watching one and I felt very like, I don't know. Billy Crystal isn't necessarily my go-to. Obviously it has Daniel Stern from obviously Home Alone fame and a few other things in there, which is quite interesting. And they all worked really well. And then coming along, I think more when they get to Norman. So he helps give birth to a baby cow, and then befriends it. Norman, I really like that aspect, and I think when that came into the first one, I was like, I was sold. It worked really well as him having a baby cow and all this stuff, and the ending and everything. Then when they go to two, and Norman's in it for like 5 seconds, and then they kind of have this other story. And I get there were bits in there that Billy Crystal added in his own life and stuff like this. And it fit in with the story. I don't know, with some of the characters being changed because of not returning and a few other bits like that, I just don't think it was worked as much. And I think the one wasn't as of a powerful movie and a powerful story, that's why it then fell to bits. And there wasn't a third one. But I really enjoyed to have them both in there. Definitely with something I'd watch again. So keep that. So next one up, we have this series. So this is Patlabor and Patlabor 2. Patlabor 2 is on my 100 list of anime movies, so I've ticked that one off. So it's another one on the list. Really enjoyed these movies. They are a very primitive style of art of Ghost of the Shell, Akira, and stuff like this. These stories are interesting. Essentially, you have kind of a police force. You have labor bots, and labor bots basically go wild. In the first one, there is a kind of evil scientist that has put this code in that reacts to wind sound. It was really, really great. I really enjoyed that kind of leading to this island. And then the second one kind of has a snowball effect to that. And stuff like this. But it's a little bit, the second one I say is a little bit slower. They're trying to, I mean, it has action scenes with the robots and stuff, and then most of it's like the character development, learning about the characters, learning about what's going on, and it's kind of a mystery. So it even though it shows this picture and this is mech, this is quite a small part of the overall series. It's more about the characters and figuring out what's going on, which I did enjoy on a whole. And stuff like this, and I love having the classics in, and the fact that I got the two of them together, it was a present, so it didn't cost me anything, and I've ticked it off. Is great. So next up, we will go to some movies. So more Disney, more Netflix movies. Christmas. So first, we had the Jingle Bell Heist. So this, the main character is from Sex Education, if you've ever seen that series, and essentially it is this girl who's works for this client. He's quite rich, quite spoilt. She's kind of pillaging money. In between that, she comes across a guy who fitted the security system and was basically not paid well or not treated right. The two of them kind of form a team to basically rob the company of this. In between doing a job, when they go to rob the jewels were actually taken before they get there. And then kind of spirals this whole event of a few twists and turns. There are a few twists and turns coming in. I did enjoy it. It's very much a kind of British kind of comedy Christmas movie. And it does have a happy ending. So I really enjoyed that. So Jingle Bell Heist. So I would recommend that one. Now it came out with another one, so Champagne Problems. So this is another kind of British movie where this woman works for a company who are trying to buy this champagne company. She only ever works, she doesn't really travel because her mum died. Her sister kind of encourages her when she goes to Paris to meet the owners of the champagne company to win the bid for the company, to have some fun. So on the first day, she goes out to a bookshop for her sister, meets a guy and then they have a one night stand, so to speak. She has to leave because the next day she has to do a proposal to the head of the company. She turns up. There are 3 other people there from 3 different other companies who are all bidding for the same one. As she starts, as you're kind of going to expect, the son of the company turns in, which is the person she slept with. He doesn't like her company because of what they've done previously. She doesn't know that that was the case, that basically they bought another company and another alcohol champagne company and basically dissolved it. This is kind of what ends up happening with them. But because of the way they do their bids, the owner of the company decides to let them stay with him over the weekend. And over the weekend, they're enjoying the events that he does, and they'll get to kind of bid their way. Very funny. There's a guy in here that is German. He plays a stereotypical German, but he's in The Rookie. He's also in Pitch Perfect 2. And he is really good because there are a few references to like Die Hard about they watch Die Hard in Germany. And obviously Hans Gruber is actually Robin Hood, and he's trying to steal money from Nakatomi because Nakatomi is a big evil conglomerate. And basically Bruce Willis is the Sheriff of Nottingham trying to stop it and stuff like this. And there were a few little bits of that were very, very, very funny and very well done. My wife predicted more or less what the ending would be before, because she didn't end up seeing the last 30 minutes of it. It's an enjoyable movie for what it is. I said both. They're on Netflix. I would definitely recommend. That's the Champagne Problems and Jingle Bell Heist. So let me go back to the movies. So next up is another one AJ gave to me, Snowpiercer. I had watched this before, and then there was a series. They only did 4 seasons of it. I suppose it did get an ending, but I don't think I've ever seen season 4 because I don't think it was ever on normal TV. I actually enjoyed this more the second time round, watching the film and stuff. I think because I have the more the knowledge from the TV series in my head, that it fit a little more. I still far enjoy the TV series, but just because they have more time to develop this, to train and everything else, I think it's a very small summary that they did on this. And I know a lot of people, especially AJ, because he knows about trains and stuff like this, a lot of stuff won't work. But for the fictional world, and it's by the director of Parasite and Mickey 17, which I didn't realise at the time. So I really did enjoy this movie on my second watch of it. I definitely do want to try and find somewhere to get the full series, because I really did enjoy that. I enjoyed the first 3, and I think there is a kind of ending there. So there is that. So next up, as we're in the Christmas period, obviously this video won't be released in the Christmas period, but we have Jingle All the Way. One I hadn't watched in a long time, so I got it out to watch it. Did really enjoy a rewatch of it. Again, it's a 90s movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger being Arnold Schwarzenegger, but kind of silly. Especially how he keeps bumping into the cop and damaging him having the hands and that, and then at the very end he's like, "Oh, I commend you," and stuff like this, and he's like, "Thank you." So that was great. Then we go on to another one. So this is one me, my wife, and the mother-in-law went to cinema to watch a long when we first started dating. So this is 9 Lives. Essentially, Kevin Spacey, like the kind of thing, he's a bit of a not a caring dad. He gets turned into a cat, and then he basically will get stuck in a cat unless he kind of can redeem it, in between his company being taken over and his son trying to do stuff. It's exactly kind of what you can imagine from it. It's to kind of turn your brain off on an hour and a half of enjoyable silliness. Obviously, the CG isn't too bad with the cat. A few funny things happen here, there, and everywhere. And Kevin Spacey isn't bad. Obviously, this is before everything else came out. So next up, we then go to some more series. So first off, on Netflix again, we decided to watch Man vs. Bee. So this is 9 episodes that are about 10 minutes the same. Rowan Atkinson is a down on a luck father who is separated from his wife and wants to take his daughter away. He hasn't got a job because he keeps getting fired because stuff escalates. And in this one, he ends up being a like housekeeper, so to speak. So this couple go away. He looks after their house. It's a very high tech house, but in between this, there's a bee that seems to be gets it under his bonnet, so to speak. Stuff ensues. He ends up damaging paintings, making the dog very ill, damaging here, things and everywhere. And it's just kind of silly Mr. Bean-ness across the way, but not being Mr. Bean, being this new kind of character. There is a new series, Man vs. Baby, that we've not watched yet, but I quite enjoyed it. It was quite silly, quite different to have 10-minute episodes over like this. It's like an hour. It could be like an hour and a half movie, so to speak, split into 9 episodes, which kind of makes sense. Yeah, and it just is, if you like Mr. Bean and stuff, this is definitely up your avenue. And then the last one, so for my anime things, for my anime list, I finally watched one of my scratch cards, but I don't own it also, My Hero Academia. So on December the 13th, the same day John Cena was retired, any wrestling fans out there would have watched that, quite a heartfelt friend of being in the industry 22 years. So My Hero Academia, after 8 years of essentially, I think that the books have been out 10 or 12 years. I have most of them up there. I have most of the series, and I've watched it all on Crunchyroll because I have that. So Deku's story finally came to an end. I have all the books minus the last one, and I haven't read the last 5, so I have to catch up on that to know how the books differ from the TV series. But it was a good ending. It was weird to think that the series is based over 2 years of it's 2 years of school. It's the first year of school and the second year of school. That is all that's kind of covered, and then we kind of have a time jump at the very end. It was done very well. Superheroes, like, part of me would have wanted it to be longer, and part of me wanted to fill out more stuff. But I get there was a story and a need, and I think with anime and manga artists and stuff like this nowadays, like, I think it's 50 or 6, I don't know, 8 episodes. It's probably like 100 episodes or so of this series, I think is enough to keep people wanting to come back. When you get into the thousands episode, people end up getting ill and stuff like this, and I can understand that's where that sits. So it was really good to see Deku's story. I really enjoyed his ending. I kind of, the little surprise and the gift that All Might gives him, I thought was quite a good little send-off. So then we switch back to the physical media. So 2 more physical medias to do. So one is a series that me and my wife have gone back to because as we finished Stranger Things. So this is Vera Series 8, I want to say. Yeah, it's season 8. We have season 9 as well to watch. So I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the character of Vera. She's not your typical manager. To put it subtly, but she does her job very well. It's very interesting in cases, and it's just kind of with the touch of Frost. Me and my wife gone down this avenue, so we have got another 6 series to watch that. So we do enjoy the mishaps and that, and just the story and the character and how they all interact. You kind of make bonds with these kind of solving mysteries. Plus the British ones, they're quite, I think, a little bit unique on how they do stuff. But they are what they are. And the final one, so The Wacky World of the Pang. Obviously, he did The Cube. I'm not going to do The Cube, so I watched this last night just before the film of this. So I really enjoyed this. One, I have seen this before, very, very, very long time ago. Probably even closer to the time when it came out. And for some reason, I had The Cell and this mixed up. I thought Jennifer Lopez was in it, but she's not. So yeah, you're in this. So these people turn up, they're in this room. Different rooms have traps, some do, some don't. And it's all them trying to figure themselves out, some going a bit crazy. It's very clever. I know there were more movies of this, and the director has said that he deliberately took out the end scene of seeing what is outside of the cube. So I don't know, maybe people can tell me if they're out there, if they're fans of the cube. Is it worth seeing the later movies? Does it explain more of where this came from? Because we know this was kind of built by people that are stuck in there, but who built it, why they built it, what it's being used for and stuff. It'd be very interesting to know. But yeah, glad to have that. So a fairly mild list of stuff to watch this. Obviously, this comes out in the new year, so this is one of my first videos of 2026. So thank you very much for watching and coming along. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, if you've sat here and watched these 20 minutes and think, I quite like what this guy's saying, or I'm quite intrigued, please do hit that subscribe button. It does very much help. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, and obviously it helps me build my channel up, which I do very much appreciate. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video again. As I keep repeating myself, hope you're having a lovely time wherever you are or whatever you're doing, and I will definitely see you in the next one.